with any business, you learn like who your dream clients are versus who the red flag clients are. So those are the lessons.
Greetings. So Kaila, talk to us a little bit about your initial foray into entrepreneurship. When did you know this is the bug that has bit? This is the thing that I'm going to be doing. How'd you get started in the space?
Yeah, so just like most businesses, I started in around the time of COVID. So I was modeling, signed to an agency at the time, but it just wasn't enough for me. And I was trying to find that thing that just made me feel like I was living in my purpose. So I switched from being in front of the camera to behind the camera and just directing the photographers and the marketing projects. But that was kind of my first introduction. And then I also owned a self-care product business as well. So that kind of got me into the space as well. And I shifted into marketing at TCC with my graphic design degree.
Okay, so modeling, graphic design, in front and behind the camera.
Yeah.
I like these themes. Okay, so this is something you've been doing for a while in terms of entrepreneurship.
Right. Yeah, I've been a few years in. So this year is actually my fourth year with this business, and it's been really great. I've grown a lot, especially after finishing the B-Force Accelerator program and becoming a specialty consultant. I've been getting a lot closer with businesses. But my first year of business, I started with just social media management. And
what
now,
about the skincare piece, though? You mentioned that you had that underway, too.
Right. Yes. So that business was more like, bath scrubs and different things, different teas and things like that, because I was really into the spiritual space and taking care of myself. I still am, but I don't know. It was something about it. I just wanted to do more. So, and I kind of was doing the marketing thing at the same time as well. So I kind of dropped that business and picked up my creative marketing agency. And yeah, that kind of just started by one of my mom's friends. She was like, "Oh my gosh, your social media, your content is so great. Do you do this for other people?" And I was like, I never thought about that. I think I'll try it. So she was a chef and catering business, actually, Ebony Malone of Fusion Soul Cafe and Catering.
Yeah.
So I started, she was my very first client for Create and Elevate. And I've had her ever since. And I've just kind of grown from that by getting into networking groups where I met other businesses, and I was in BNI, and then I switched over to Black Brands. So now I'm here.
Okay. So I love this. So if you could share just sort of what are the top 3 areas that you would say small businesses kind of need to be mindful of as they're thinking about how it is they're going to market their products and services? I tried to say all those words at the same time.
Yeah. So actually I just finished reading 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Okay. And I think one of the things I would take away from that was starting with the end in mind. And then also just having your values in place, because that kind of drives where your business goes and how you interact with your clients and everything. And then also just having some type of strategy instead of focusing on trends, because I think that's what most people are into. They're trying to copy what other people are doing instead of focusing on having their end in mind or whatever the goal is for their business specifically. So definitely values, having the end in mind, and strategy.
Okay. I mean, that sounds solid, right? So then talk me through kind of what they can expect when they're working with you from start to finish. So you got this agency. Do they set up a consultation with you? And then sort of what is the next step after that? Like, is someone going to have to come in, explain to you what it is that they do? Like, how do you work with businesses?
Right.
Because I can imagine it's a little intimidating, right? When you may not know a whole lot about marketing, you know it's something you need to do. How should a business even prepare to work with someone like you?
Well, I think research is key. Research on the person you're dealing with. So, research on the marketer that you're coming in contact with, and then also research on yourself. So, before you hire someone, you need to know what you're hiring them for. You need to have your goal in mind. You need to have your benchmarks because you're gonna want that return on investment.
Sure.
So, the first step with me is filling out my quick consult form.
Okay.
It's not a quick form because
It's called a quick consult form, but
it's not a quick form. It's very detailed because I need to know all the nuances of the business in order to create a custom project for you.
Got it. Okay. So that gives a clue right there, though.
Right.
The work that you're doing with clients is custom. It's not like, hey, these are my packages, boom, pick one and go. It's, I'm going to create a custom solution for you.
Right.
Okay.
I don't give, like a lot of people ask me, like, how much would this be? How much would that be? I really can't tell you on the spot because I don't know how long you've been in business. I don't know what your benchmark goals are. I don't know what services you're selling. I don't know who your target audience is.
Right.
That is what you're filling out on my consult form.
Okay.
And after that, at the end of the consult form, there's actually my calendar where you can schedule a free 30-minute call with me. And basically, you get the most out of that 30-minute call because you filled out that form. So now I have everything that I need to research on you before that call. And then I can clarify, I can ask questions, I can give you strategy tips, whether you decide to move forward with me or not.
Sure.
And then I also give you a custom proposal based on what you gave me and also what standard for your industry and what you should be doing based off of your goals.
Got it. Okay. So Create and Elevate Agency, are we talking about a team of folks that have a variety of area of expertise then that can come alongside you to support a particular project?
Yes. So my business model is based off of hiring contractors with specialized services.
Sure.
So contractors I deal with a lot are photographers, videographers, paid ad specialists, because mainly I'm just driving the boat. I'm basically there to communicate with the client, make sure that the client is getting what they need out of the project, and then I manage the entire project. So I'm managing all the people that are needed to fulfill all these services in this overall marketing campaign.
Okay.
So yes, I have a team of VAs that I communicate with to get certain things done, like research and content creation and copywriting. But again, I just contract out those other things like photography, videography that are needed when I need those extra bodies on the project to manage it.
Okay. So it sounds like a tall order, right? A level of project management, but you've also got the consultants that you're working with. You've got the client facing piece. Do you love this so far?
I really do love this. I mean, I think with any business, you learn like who your dream clients are versus who the red flag clients are. So those are the lessons I'm learning, just like people and like, you know, what's my ideal client, what's my ideal project. But I really do love managing the overall vibe of the marketing for the client. And, you know, I love seeing their reaction when we finish a brand shoot and they're like,
nice.
Like this is better than I imagined, or I wasn't even thinking they would look like this. So especially the social media piece. And like I said, the branding is my favorite part, just organizing and directing it creatively.
That's cool. So I imagine that a mission has been birthed as you've kind of gotten acclimated with the space and an understanding of who that client is. So what is the mission of Create and Elevate at this point?
Yes, so it's in the name. So we're just here to help create and elevate the business and basically 3 times your visibility of your products and services. So if more people see it, they're more likely to buy. But we're also positioning your marketing in a way where it's actually selling. So the content is converting. So that's the mission, just to create and elevate your business one piece of marketing at a time.
Awesome. So do you want to talk a little bit about maybe a specific project that you just loved and the impact that it had for that client? I don't know. Give us a glimpse into your world.
Yeah. So my favorite project was last year. I worked with Dennis Guerrero at Texture Defined, and
He's fantastic.
yes, I love their entire team. So they had the team, they had the clients, but the brand just wasn't put together fully. It wasn't like cohesive. And they also wanted to increase their product sales. So what I did was I came in, I did a whole brand overhaul. So we redid all their team headshots, their team photos. We even did a campaign shoot for the holidays as well. And I also developed custom campaigns like Shop and Sip. It's an event that they do now every quarter. So I basically did that because they wanted to increase product sales. And I think the easiest way to increase sales is to sell to people that you already sell to. So they already had loyal clientele. They just needed a vibe to feel more loyal and to just like have camaraderie with that Texture Defined team.
Sure.
So that's what Shop and Sip was. And now every quarter they give it a new name, they give it a new vibe, but it's the same thing. You get to come in, have consultations, get discounts on products, get a mimosa, shop and sip. So that was really dope. And then I also created a client experience too, where they could get their hair done, but also get a custom photo shoot with their hairstyle as well as makeup and wardrobe too.
Okay.
So those were some custom campaigns that we developed that now, since we've finished the project, they can carry on themselves as the brand.
Okay. All right. And so worked out well. Team liked it.
Yes, they loved it.
Okay, good. Do you want to share any other specific project that you worked on? Or maybe we can pivot a bit and talk about some of the challenges, some of the things that folks don't see when you're thinking about working with clients behind the scenes and how you've kind of worked to overcome some of those challenges.
Yeah, I think a big issue that I see is people's lack of clarity of what they're looking for. And like I said, a lack of a goal or like an end point. So sometimes when people come into the project and they have no clear goal to measure, it's hard to measure the return on investment. Yeah. So I often deal with that. And I only deal with that when I'm not thorough when vetting my clients or bringing them in on the project. So recently this year, I'm working on like revamping all of my onboarding, offboarding, my systems so that this is a seamless process. Everybody knows what's going on. It's clear. So that has been a struggle the last year. Just I did have a few projects that kind of went through that. Like it wasn't completely clear to the client or we weren't clear on what the expectation was. So I had to make that decision to kind of revamp my team, revamp my systems. So I'm working on that right now.
It's amazing, right? So it's like we want this one thing out of the client, but it may require something different of us. So I appreciate the transparency just to say there were some things that I had to fix, in order to get to my end game, right? So that's awesome. And I we can't grow as entrepreneurs if we're not having that kind of tough internal conversation, right? Yeah, good on you. So how do you balance so you have a creative vision, you have a creative brand that is your own, right? And then you work with clients who may have a different sort of vision for what they want their brand to look like and feel like. Like, how do you find that balance of doing what's going to be best for them?
Right.
Given that those two things could be, they could be different, right?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, that's something I often deal with. People come in thinking that they need or want one thing, but then I often have to, just like a doctor, diagnose and tell them, you're not thinking about this. This is actually what you need.
So a bit of like consultation and advising in there too.
Right. Yeah. So it's a bit of a push and pull because I'm a younger entrepreneur. I just turned 26 this year.
Okay.
And I have a baby face. So
yes. How do you build that trust with them?
Right. So I think it started with building the trust with myself because the first few years, I honestly let clients tell me what to do. So the last few years, I've really come more into my power and my confidence of I am the expert. You've come to me for a reason. So just making sure that I'm strong on what my solution is or what my expertise is guiding them to do. But like I said, just being strong within myself first, because I have to remember, like, they're coming to me for a reason.
They are.
So I do have to be firm on, what I tell them and what I think is the solution.
Yeah. Yeah. That's incredible. And again, the transparency, the personal growth, right? You meet folks that are much older that have not had that level of like an epitome about what they're doing and how they need to do it. So let's talk a bit. I want to kind of dive in around videography and graphic design. And for those that are listening, thanks so much for tuning in. This is Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham, having a great conversation with Kaila Robinson, who is the chief architect, if I could use that term, at Create and Elevate agency. So let's talk a bit about videography. Yeah.
What about it?
I've got my own, personal pain points around videography, just recognizing that it has to have a particular place within my overarching budget because it's a very specific skill set. And in order to get what I want, right, I've got to be willing to pay for it. So what's the most common misconception that you found about videography for businesses?
I think that people think they just need the camera or the videographer, but they also need someone like me, which is a creative marketing director, to actually direct the person behind the camera. Mm-hmm. Because you can waste a lot of time and money just getting a videographer because they're just there with the equipment and the skill set to record. So you actually need the context, the content, the angle, the marketing piece, the call to action to actually make the video convert and do what it's supposed to do for the business.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge, right? So it's a both and.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. So would you say then that is the secret ingredient that makes business video truly effective? Or is there something else you would add to that?
With a creative director, or even just if you don't have a creative director, just sitting to take out the time to plan the shoot and all the topics that you can get done. Because if you don't plan the shoot, you're just thinking, oh, we'll just shoot this thing, we'll wing it. So you spend 2 hours winging it, you get something you can use. But if you would have spent some time planning it, you could have planned out that 2 hour to shoot to like stretch for 3 months of content. So it's really the planning piece and just having more intention with the videography that matters, I think.
That's fair. So it's either have the CMD, the creative marketing director, or invest that time on the front end to plan what all we want to get out of this, out of the shoot. So that makes sense. Can you share a story about a time that you had to pivot a video shoot due to an unexpected challenge and how you handled that?
Oh, yeah. Just last week, I was at one of my clients' Roll Bounce Rollout. They're a roller skating community based out of Virginia Beach. And we do monthly rollouts at the oceanfront. And it's for the roller skating community, but it's an all-wheels rollout. So bikes, skateboards, kids are there. It's usually themed, so they dress up for it. But last week was the Caribbean rollout, Rollabana. And I was just supposed to be there to direct the promo for the new sponsor, which is Crunchy Water for Roll Bounce Rollout. And I ended up having to manage the hydration station, set it up, shoot the promo, hand out the water at the same time. But I was successful. So I just got that promo out this week. But yeah, that was something, that comes with events. Sometimes you're short on staff and sometimes you have to jump in and, I'm willing to help. I used to run the hydration stations before, so I was fine just doing it. But I did surprise myself because I was able to get the promo done in the midst of all that too. So yeah, that was a bit of a challenge, but I overcame.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, it sounds definitely like a challenge. You handled it. Is there a piece of gear or a technique that you're currently obsessed with? I know we talked about not focusing so much on trends, but is there something that's out right now that you're just like, oh yes, this is where it is.
Are you talking like gear for videography
Or even just a particular technique as it relates to videography?
I think that I like, and I don't know the technical term for it, but I guess like perception in the camera.
Okay.
Like when you have something up close and then you pull it out, or you have like the background blurred, or, just creating a different effect with the videography, but without the editing side of it.
Okay.
So just working and figuring out what movements can create that contrast on camera.
Yeah, I mean, it makes all the difference. So that makes sense. Yeah. Let's flip to talking about graphic design a bit. In your opinion, what is a design trend that businesses should be paying more attention to?
For graphic design,
if we can't think of one that they should be paying more attention to, is there one that they should maybe be avoiding?
Well, I would say to pay attention to basic design principles.
Okay.
Because I see a lot of business owners.
So not too many fonts, not too many colors, not too many textures, those types of things. Okay.
It's a big thing that I see.
Space, negative space. Yeah.
That's a really big thing. I can tell when somebody's doing their own flyers and graphics by the spacing that they use. So I think, just looking up some YouTube videos about basic design principles before trying to design your own flyers. Because it's fine to do DIY, but you don't have to do it by yourself.
This is 2025.
Right.
I mean, there's no shortage of templates, videos, right?
Yep. There are resources that you can use to get these things done.
So basic design, kind of knowledge. All right. What's a common mistake you see businesses making with their branding or their graphic design?
Oh, with branding, definitely not doing the back end first. So basically not doing any market research, not doing competitor research, and also not being authentic. So a lot of people try to hide their downfalls and, their personal stuff, but that makes people trust you, follow you. So you kind of have to infuse some of that stuff into the branding. That's what makes your branding your brand.
Right.
But yeah, definitely the lack of research. Like I see a lot of people, they'll go straight to do a logo, but they don't know what colors would be best for that industry. They don't know their target audience. They don't know what their competitors are doing. So that's what I would say for that.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. Okay. How do you ensure a brand's visual identity is consistent across both video and static graphics?
When we do our branding packages, we basically give them a brand kit, and we try to use that brand kit across all the materials we create. And also, if they're doing it on their own, they'll have access to that brand kit to reference. So in the brand kit, of course, you have your colors, your fonts that you stay consistent with. We tell them when and how to use the certain fonts and colors.
Okay.
And also what icons, what photos, what imagery is best to go with the brand in order to maintain consistency.
Okay. That makes sense. Very good. We are got a few minutes remaining. I like to provide an opportunity as I see you as a subject matter expert, right? And so I want to just offer space for you to be able to share some additional advice and pointers. If you had to talk to a business owner, and I know you do this often, who's just starting to think about their creative strategy, what's one piece of advice that you would give? Maybe they don't have budget yet for creative marketing director or to bring an agency on, they just kind of need just getting started. What would you say?
Definitely, like I said, have the end in mind, and then to simplify the strategy. I think a lot of people try to do a lot at once. So having the end in mind will kind of tell you what to put in your strategy, and then you want to make the strategy as simple as possible, because when you have too much going on at once, it confuses people. Your messaging isn't clear.
And that's something we hear often, right? Keep it simple, a single call to action kind of thing. there could be a temptation to overdo it because you feel like, all right, look, I got all these things I'm selling. I got all these things I'm making. I got all these people I want to reach. My business is for everybody. But you're saying, nope, it's not. Let's just keep it simple. That makes sense. So what's the most rewarding part of your work?
Oh, well, of course, the transformation that we can provide for the client, and then just that feeling they get when their marketing is taken care of. They can just sit back and have a drink. That's actually my branding photos on my website is me laying on the ground, looking at newspapers, having a drink, because that's how I want my clients to feel when they come work with us. I want them to feel like everything is taken care of.
Yeah.
They can reach me when they need to reach me. We can take care of things, especially, you know, social media stuff comes up, like accounts get hacked and all types of stuff. So just want them to feel supported. And so I definitely take pride in the transformation we provide and the feeling we give to our clients.
Yeah, beautiful. What does the future of videography and graphic design look like in the business world, in your opinion? You know, definitely considering artificial intelligence and where things are going. What would you say?
Yeah, well, you said it. So I think AI is a big part. It's becoming a big part of videography and graphic design. And I think if people just remember that you still have to do some work with AI. You have to give it context. You have to tweak it a little bit. You don't want 10 fingers on your photo. So definitely doing some of that back end work. But I think that AI is going to be a really big part of it because it's been a big part of my business and how we take care of edits, especially for long form content, just chopping up into short form or getting ideas for graphics. You could just get ideas and then create from the idea. So I do think that that is going to be the future. So anybody that is not versed on it might want to get the knowledge because we're moving fastly in that direction.
Yeah. And I think I have like a fear that our community is going to be, left behind a bit. Typically, when there's a technological wave that happens, we are just sort of the last to benefit from it, and or we are exploited by it. And so I share that conviction. It's time to go ahead and embrace it, right? So thank you for that. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so my website is www.cne.marketing. And also we're on Instagram at cne.marketing. And my personal Instagram is The Campaign Queen with 2 E's. So THEE Campaign Queen. And that's where I post all my content at. And then I'll be getting on some other platforms as well, but I'm taking it one step at a time.
One step at a time. I love that you're following your own advice. Let's go. Well, it has been a pleasure speaking with you today. I want to thank you for the role that you play in this business community. I know we've had some candid conversation about businesses that you serve here, but I know that, your work is work that has implications even beyond Hampton Roads, even beyond the region, and so even beyond the state. And so I urge folks to reach out to you. I just appreciate your being willing to be candid and transparent on the platform. And thank you for what you're doing.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And I want to thank you for tuning into Black Wall Street today, where we are building minds, we're building connections, and we're forging the path ahead toward business success in the Black community. We will talk soon.
Phenomenal. Stay with us online at Black Wall Street Today on Facebook and Black Wall Street Today on Instagram, and then follow us on Twitter as well at BWST Today. We look forward to talking again next week. Have a wonderful week. I have said and I will continue to say that the most important priority for the Black community is the Black community, not a particular political party.
Phenomenal.
Hey, yo, when I say Black, you say Wall Street. Black Wall Street. When I say Black, you say Wall Street. Black. When I say Black, you say Wall Street. Black. When I say Black, you say Wall Street. Black. Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street.
Phenomenal.